Hi, my name is Tim and it is great to speak to you tonight. When I was invited to speak on this panel, I wasn't too sure what I was getting into. After watching the trailer more than several times, I wanted to come tonight and watch this awesome short film with all of you. I never pass up a free movie ticket and surely never a free meal. Sorry, I like to think that I am a subpar comic. Ha, ha. I have broken up my talks in different parts on my communicator. Please allow me some time to go to the next part, and please keep your chuckling to yourself because there are more ha, ha to follow. As you can see, I am in a wheelchair and cannot use my hands or speak clearly. I have cerebral palsy. In my case, cerebral palsy happened during birth. Cerebral palsy happens when there is not enough oxygen to the brain during a period of time, such as victims of drowning. In my case, my cerebral palsy was caused by the umbilical cord being wrapped around my neck. Maybe the doctor did not slap me enough, or maybe my parents had a few too many. If there is silence in the room, this joke was not that funny. Ha, ha. Hopefully, somebody is laughing by now because my humor can be awkward sometimes where most people doesn't see my social cues, where they are not sure to laugh or to cry. I prefer everyone to laugh. I am a college graduate, have a career and live on my own. I have my degree in speech communication from Cal State Long Beach. I live on my own with assistance from my caregivers. I won't go too much detail in my personal needs, but I pretty much need help with all of my personal grooming, eating, and whatever else. I handle my own finances, plan my vacations, and have a good time. First, let me talk about my disability. I am capable of using my feet as if they were like your hands. I am the modern-day Christy Brown from the movie My Left Foot. I also use my left foot to type, drive my electric wheelchair, unlock my front door, and so on. I learned how to use my feet when I was 3 or 4. I do not really remember when I was able to use my feet, but my parents tell me that I got into everything with my toes. They made sure to child-proof the house, especially the wall outlets. I can pick up a penny off the ground with my toes. Please just use your imagination as me at 3, getting yelled at from my mom for triggering off the circuit breaker. My parents thought twice when they gave me a metal fork. Growing up with cerebral palsy did not really affect my childhood. I had a normal childhood as one may expect, growing up with 2 younger brothers. Being disabled and being from an Asian culture was not acceptable at the time, but my family was extremely supportive to my well-being. My parents did not isolate me from the outside world. Of course, I was not able to do most things like my brothers and friends, but playing cops and robbers was fun, because it was hard for anyone to catch me in my power wheelchair, but I could not really hide behind the tree when we played hide and go seek. My childhood was normal as it could be. At certain point in all of our lives, we like to forget on how many birthdays that we have had. Well, I too have stopped counting birthdays. Hopefully I will have 44 more birthdays. If some people did not catch my age, I'm sure there is a math class going on right now at this high school. Ha, ha. I'm 44, and if I make for another 4 decades and plus 4 more years, I will be 88. Yes, My IQ test didn't show how smart I am in math. I just got the math part of my brain from my parents. They are Asian too. In the mid-70s to the late 80s, I attended Carl Harvey School in Santa Ana. Back then, Carl Harvey was a school for the disabled. I believe the school is still there, but now it is an integrated school for elementary students. When I attended the school, it was strictly for students with disabilities. They had teachers that will teach you regular education, but the school also had physical therapy and speech therapy. While I attended Carl Harvey, I learned my basic fundamentals, such as refining my skills with my feet, learning how to type before I could spell, and a lot of speech therapy. The school was set up a bit on the segregated side. If you went to preschool at Carl Harvey, you were expected to be in the same school until you graduated from high school. The graduation ceremony was a bit of a show to watch because one moment you seen fourth graders getting their awards, and by the end of the hour, you'd be hearing the commencement speech and the principal would congratulate the class of 1985. Now, you see where I get my dark humor from. I was 10 years old in 1985, and I'm still confused from that ceremony. In the late 80s, the school started to mainstream their students to the neighboring schools with the general education. By the time I finished elementary school, my teachers, therapists, and parents thought that I was ready to be mainstream with the general ed. I went to a regular junior high, the neighboring school. Technically, I was still enrolled at Carl Harvey, because I would go back and forth between classes for my personal needs, such as needing help using the restroom and eating for lunch, but I took all of my academic classes at the junior high.